Hello and welcome to our presentation about the Phoenix Gasworks on the Southwark Bridge Layout. This presentation has been put together by Mike Day and Ted Stevens, and Ted is narrating the story. It is a quite technical presentation and goes into a fair bit of detail about each element of the gasworks and may not appeal to everyone for general viewing. Consequently, the presentation has been split into a series of videos covering specific topics so that you can choose what you want to watch. The idea for a gasworks on Southwark Bridge Layout came from Henry Boucher. He and others had collected information from various sources, including the old Gasworks Museum at Bow, and also found other information sources in publications from the 1920s. He always said that his inspiration was the gasworks on Peter Denny's Buckingham layout. Henry started building various items of equipment required to populate the gasworks, but the project stalled for a long time while the rest of Southwark Bridge Layout was being built. Here you can see Henry's models, mostly made from plasticard, with brass used for the more fragile parts. We restarted the project in 2016 and have now more or less finished it. First, we will take a look at the background to our gasworks in the Southwark Bridge area. This is a map of Southwark in 1875. The Thames is along the top, the line to Blackfriars is on the left, and Southwark Bridge is over on the right. The route for the Southwark Bridge Railway will be somewhere through the middle of this map. In the middle of this area, we found the Phoenix Gasworks. It really did exist. It was in Southwark and right next to our railway. Further internet searching found some prints showing what it looked like, albeit a bit too early for our model. We also found this drawing showing the gasworks office in the 19th century, with the retort house behind. Note the gateway with doors either side, and the curly ironwork over it to support the gas lamp. As you will see in the final video in this series, we use this detail in our model. The office building was located on Bankside Street, and the view looks like it was drawn, as seen from an upstairs window, in the building opposite, which was an inn. To give you a sense of where this is today, in today's landscape, this is a view from Google Street View, along Hopton Street. On the left, behind the tree, would have stood the inn, from where the drawing was made. The Phoenix office was just over to the right, under the corner of Bankside Power Station, today known as the Tate Modern. Possibly the only surviving thing from our era are the granite sets. Next, we needed to understand the equipment that was in a gasworks and what it looked like. We found many details in this book, Modern Gasworks Practice by Alwyn Mead, published in 1923. Still available in one or two libraries, and second-hand copies can be found from time to time. A number of pictures from this book have been used to illustrate our presentations. The book contains wonderful photos like this one, showing a machine called a telfer, of which more in a later presentation. We also found online a document called Gasworks Profiles, published by the Contaminated Land Association. This document is intended for use by developers of brownfield sites to understand what they will be dealing with when redeveloping old gasworks. Again, we have used a number of images from this document to illustrate our presentation, and it shows how valuable it is. It is clearly written and gives an excellent explanation of the process involved in producing town gas. The part of the process we're interested in is from the retort house to the gas holder, but it is interesting to see how many other industries were fed with byproducts from producing gas. In effect, this diagram gave us the build list for our models. Far too much detail here for you to be able to see, but this diagram shows the range of byproducts which came from the production of town gas. Just focusing in on one area, we can see some very toxic chemicals as well as medicines. There are even a few colour photographs. This is iron oxide and sulphate waste from the purifier. By the way, it really is that colour, turquoise green. Thoroughly nasty stuff. Another good source was the Fakenham Museum of Gas, well worth a visit. Here is their web address. Likewise, the National Gas Museum at Leicester. Having established what was in a real gasworks, we then looked at what we could cram into our site. We followed the traditional approach of building cardboard bottles and placing them on the layout to see what fitted together nicely. We then discussed the layout. Henry Boucher is on the right and Mike Day is on the left. It could get a little emphatic at times, so we brought in another member of the group to arbitrate, David Cook. And so it went on. The real issue was that it was very difficult to imagine what it would look like. There were various generations of plans. This is one prepared by Ivan Smith. Notice there is no loop, and we needed one for shunting flexibility. We then resorted to CAD and built a 3D model for the outlines of each of the major components in the gasworks. This allowed us to look at many different options and judge their relative merits. This is one solution, with the gasworks railway in the middle and the retort house at the bottom. We soon realised this was a non-starter, as it would be impossible to shunt the layout and uncouple wagons with the retort house in the way. Further revision brought the track nearer the operator, without obstructions, but this meant that we would not be able to accommodate much more than the frontage of the retort house. Here in the 3D view, you can see the desired cluttered effect has been achieved. Even then we needed to widen the baseboard a little. The final plan was then drawn out to scale and stuck to the baseboard. Now please view other videos in this series covering topics that may be of interest to you. Thank you for watching.